The iPhone needs no introduction, with Apple's current iPhone 6s and 6s Plus being owned by over millions of consumers. While no Android smartphone manufacturer has a loyal fan base like Apple, a startup from China, OnePlus, is looking to challenge that, delivering arguably successful smartphones for the past 2 years. OnePlus has launched the OnePlus 3, incorporating valuable feedback received from consumers to manufacture the company's best. While the OnePlus 3 is considered a self-proclaimed flagship killer, how well does it go against Apple's finest? I'm Kevin the Tech Ninja, and this is A Duel. Both smartphones are housed by a robust metal construction, and their subtle curves add to how they feel in the hand. Both devices are pretty slippery, so I do recommend getting a D-brand skin. As you can see, my iPhone already has one, and my OnePlus 3 D-brand is not too far behind. Hit the links down below to check out D-brand. Their fronts house fingerprint scanners that performed identically, and they're just thick enough to accommodate for volume control buttons and an alert slider. Although the iPhone 6s Plus and the OnePlus 3 are both 7.3mm thick, the 12 megapixel camera unit on the 6s Plus does not seem to protrude as much as on the OnePlus 3 16 megapixel unit. Overall, footprint-wise, both are very comparable to one another, with OnePlus 3 slightly kinder to smaller hands. But specifications are where both phones show their differences. The iPhone 6s Plus has a 5.5-inch IPS LCD screen with a display of 1920 by 1080. And the pixel density, you're looking at 401 ppi. It is produced with an ion-strengthened glass and reinforced with also an oleophobic coating supporting Apple's in-house 3D Touch functionality. The A9 chipset is used to power the smartphones, which features a dual-core 1.84 GHz twister to work alongside with the PowerVR GT7600 6-core GPU and 2 GB of RAM. The OnePlus 3, on the other hand, uses a 5.5-inch AMOLED screen with the same resolution and points per inch, protected by Corning's Gorilla Glass 4. It is powered by the Snapdragon 820 chipset, featuring a pair of dual-core CPUs clocked at 2.2 GHz and 1.6 GHz respectively, which works alongside the Adreno 530 GPU and a whopping 6 GB of RAM. The decision between IPS display and an AMOLED display may be personal preference, as the IPS display may have better viewing angles, but the AMOLED may have deeper blacks, but the stark contrast in specifications is typically between firmware running on each device. The iPhone performs extremely well day-to-day usage with the specifications because the resourcefulness software in iOS 9. On the other hand, the OnePlus 3 may require more hardware to run Android 6.0 Marshmallow skinned in their own in-house Oxygen OS. And while the experience may be great individually, day-to-day comparisons between the iPhone 6s are disappointing. In spite of much more powerful hardware, the OnePlus 3 fails to perform even on par with the iPhone 6s Plus, and can only hope a prompt software update fixes that. Taken for granted most times, multimedia consumption is slowly becoming a necessity. While both devices feature identical speaker grills, do they perform the same? Well, this one's your call. And with the craze of social media upon us, camera quality is required to be top-notch. The iPhone 6s Plus sports one of the best cameras in the market with an f2.2 aperture and phase detection autofocus. The OnePlus 3 also has a respectable unit with an f2.0 aperture, phase detection autofocus, and optical image stabilization. While both produce good-looking images in adequate light with good dynamic range and detail, the OnePlus 3 falters in low-light performance, producing unclear and noisy images. Both phones produce 4K video, but once again, the iPhone 6s Plus takes the edge, producing a more natural clip with better highlights. The front 8 megapixel sensor on the OnePlus 3 is better equipped to capture detail compared to the iPhone's 5 megapixel sensor, and here it is where the latter falls behind. The trend of the OnePlus 3 coming to the top doesn't continue for long. The iPhone line is known to be plagued with battery life issues, but the 150 mAh battery in the 6s Plus is plenty to keep the phone running in most usage conditions. In my short tests, the 3000 mAh battery on the OnePlus 3 seems to deliver up to 4 hours of screen on time with heavy usage, and its in-house dash charger functionality lets the user go from 0 to 60 in less than 30 minutes. Combine that with a USB 2.0 port. However, both smartphones do not support wireless charging due to their metal build. And while comparing nooks and crannies can make this bigger, it's time to conclude. The OnePlus 3 retails for $400 for the 64GB variant off contract, which is half of what an iPhone 6s with similar storage costs at $749, let alone the 6s Plus at $849 off contract. For the price and the features, the OnePlus 3 may well be worth it, but it stands far from the iPhone in many aspects, and unfortunately, it may not stand up to the self-proclaimed moniker of flagship killer, for this year at least. As always, I'm Kevin the Tech Ninja. Have yourself a great day, hit that subscribe, and I'll holler at you guys later. Peace.